Good day everyone. In this video, we will talk about the further examples of parabola with vertex at 0, 0 or at the origin. So all we need to do is to write the equation of the parabola with vertex at the origin that satisfies the given conditions. Next, we have to draw the parabola, its focus, and directrix. So we have here four conditions, namely the focus has coordinates 5, 0, and the equation of the directrix is minus 3 equals 0. Next, the length of the lattice rectum is 6 and the parabola opens upward. And next, or the last one, the parabola contains the point 2, 6 and opens downward. So for us to determine the equation of the parabola, we will consider these conditions here, and we have to go back from the characteristics of the parabola with the vertex at the origin. It was shown in our previous discussion on the form of a table. So it was presented in tabular manner. You have to go back there, or if you're familiar with that or you memorized it, it's good, and you can directly solve the given conditions and find out the equation of the parabola. Okay, so here I have the solution for condition letter A, wherein we have the focus has coordinates 5, 0. So from the characteristics of a parabola, if we have this point 5, 0, it follows that 5 represents P and paired by 0. So the format of the focus is in this form. So we have P, 0. And this format has horizontal axis of symmetry. So it follows that the parabola having horizontal axis of symmetry has an equation of y squared equals 4px. So you have to go back from the characteristics of the parabola given to you before. You have to look at it if where is the specific region or column, you can find out the form of this focus. Since we have 5 and 0, so this form falls under the column of parabola with horizontal axis of symmetry. Therefore, after finding out that it falls under the parabola with horizontal axis of symmetry, you have to take out the format of its equation or formula, and you will just substitute the value of p there. So we have here 5. Saan ko siya nakuha? Dito. Next, you have to multiply 5 into 4. So we have 4 times 5, we have 20x. So y squared is equal to 20x. This will be our equation. So this serves as the equation of our parabola in our first condition. Next, how are we going to plot the directrix? Okay, we need to find out its equation first before plotting it. So we have the equation of the directrix is x equals negative p. So we have here x equals negative 5. That's it. So we have now the equation and the directrix and the focus is given. So we will now plot the graph of this parabola. Okay, so we have now the graph of our parabola, but take note that in order for us to determine the opening of the parabola, we have to take note of the value of p, whether it is lesser or greater than 0. Here we have 5, therefore p is greater than 0, and the parabola opens to the right. So we have to plot the points. We have 5, 0 for the focus, and for the directrix, we have to count another 5 units to the opposite direction from the vertex. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Since our x is equal to negative 5, and the equation of our directrix is x equals negative 5, and the focus is here. So we have this graph. And take note, don't forget to write the y-axis here and the x-axis, and our axis of symmetry is the x-axis. Okay. So what if the given condition is the directrix, that is x minus 3 equals 0? How will you find the equation of the parabola, the focus, and the value of b? How are you going to determine the opening of the parabola? If it opens upward, downward, sideward, from left or going to right? How? So if this is the case, so the equation looks like this. First, we need to write the given. We have x minus 3 equals 0. This is the given equation for the directrix. However, the directrix should be x equals negative b, since the given here is x. If y is the given, therefore we will write y equals negative b. However, the given is x, so the format should be in x equals negative b. To get this, we have to do some manipulation. We have to transfer out values, or to do addition property of equality, or subtraction property of equality. But for layman's term or layman's process, I just do the term or the process of transferring values. So here I just transferred out negative 3 into the other side of the equation. That will make its sign change into positive. So we have here x equals 3. So we have now the equation of our directrix in this format. Next, we have to obtain or to get the value of b in order for us to get the focus. So the format that I used is x equals negative b. I just substituted the value of x here, so we have 3 equals negative b. So ganyan na siya. Next, for us to get the value of b, we have to divide, or we need to divide both sides of the equation by negative 1, since kailangan positive yung p natin. So we have negative 1 and negative 1 here. So negative p divided by negative 1 is positive p. Actually, multiplication and division has the same rule in terms of sign. Like signs will give you positive answer, and like signs will give you negative answer. And positive 3 divided by negative 1 is equal to negative 3. Okay, the question is, Sir, bakit yung format mo dito ng sagot mo is positive ang 3 mo dito? Take note, ang ating p is negative 3. So if you're going to write it in this format, kung gusto mong makita na bakit naging positive ang 3 dito, we will make use of this. So x equals negative times negative 3, as if na-given ang p mo. So we have now x equals positive 3. Are they equal? Yes, they are equal. So you have the correct answer for p. Next, we will use the value of p into our equation or the formula. Saan naman nakuha ito? Again, from the characteristics given to you in tabular manner. So we have y squared equals 4px. Next, we will just substitute the value of p. So 4 times negative 3 times x. So we have now the equation of the parabola, y squared equals negative 12x. So meron na tayong equation. May value na tayo ng p. At ang focus natin, kapag ganito ang format ng ating equation, it follows that the focus should be in the form of p, 0. So andito na siya. So we have negative 3 for p, 0. And for us to determine the opening of the parabola, again and again, we have to look on the value of p, whether it is greater than or less than 0. So here we have -3. It follows that it is less than 0. And the parabola opens to the left. Is it clear? Very good. Okay, for the graph of our condition number 2, or letter B condition, we have here the focus on point -3 and 0. Since it opens to the left, we have this movement here, and we have the line that passes through the focus, point of the focus going to the both sides of our curve. This is the latus rectum, and the opposite from the vertex is the line of our directrix with the equation x equals 3. So what if the equation or the condition goes like this? The length of the latus rectum is 6 and the parabola opens upward. How are you going to solve the equation of the parabola? So the solution looks like this. We need to consider first the given condition in the statement given above. So we have two conditions: the latus rectum, which has the length of 6 units, and the parabola opens upward. So since the latus rectum given, or the length of the latus rectum, is 6, the formula of the latus rectum from the table given before in the characteristics of the parabola with vertex at 0, 0, is the latus rectum, or the length of the latus rectum, is equal to 4p. So it follows that 6 here is equal to 4p. And since we have 4p, we can use this formula in finding the value of p. So we will just equate 4p by 6. So we have 4p equals 6. Since we are finding the value of p, we will divide both sides by 4. So we have 4p divided by 4 equals 6 divided by 4. So 4 will be eliminated, and what will be left out is p, and 6 over 4 cannot be divided, or though we can make use of decimal number, but not here, only in plotting of points or graphs. So we will just find the lowest term of 6 over 4, which is 3/2. So we have now the value of p, which is equal to 3/2. Next, since the parabola opens upward, the equation should be x squared equals to 4py. Since we already have the value of p, which is 3/2, we can now directly simplify or substitute the value of p into our equation, which is x squared equals 4py. So we have 4 times 3/2 times y. Since any whole number or every whole number has a denominator that is equal to 1, so we will just multiply numerator to numerator and denominator to denominator. So we have 4 times 3, we have 12, 1 times 2 is 2, times y. So 12 over 2 is 6y. So our equation now is x squared equals 6y. Or, since you already know that 4p is equal to 6, we can just substitute 4p by 6. So we will just have this process. Instead of using 4p, we will directly write 6. Since we already know in the first place in the given that 4p is equal to 6. So we will just substitute 6 here. So x squared is equal to 6y. So you will just have this process. And you can conserve time. Next, we will find the equation of the directrix. So the equation of the directrix, based from its characteristics, is y equals negative p. We will just substitute the value of our p, which is 3 over 2. So we have it here. Y is equal to negative times the value of p is positive 3 over 2. So we have y equals negative 3 over 2. And for the focus of this parabola, it is on the point 0, comma p. And again, we will just substitute the value of p, which is 3 halves. So the point is 0, comma 3 halves. So for the graph, we have it here. We have here the point of the focus on coordinates of 0 and 3 halves. Take note, class, 3 halves is also equal to 1.5. So we will just do some estimation here in plotting the point. And the line that you can see here that passes through the point of the focus is the latus rectum from both ends of the parabola. And take note that the graph or the parabola opens upward, so we have it here. And also, the line here opposite the vertex is the line of the directrix in the equation y equals negative 3 halves. So the distance from the vertex is also 3 halves or 3 over 2 units. So what if we have this condition? The parabola contains the point 2 and negative 6 and it opens downward. So if we have this kind of condition, our equation or our solution looks like this. So we have to take note first of the given conditions from the statement. We have point 2, comma, and negative 6, and it opens downward. Since it opens downward, we can directly identify the format of our equation. It looks like x squared equals 4py. So in here, since we have the point, we will just use this point in order for us to identify the value of p. So this is x and this is y. So you will just substitute the x and y intercept into our equation. So we have here 2 raised to 2 since x is 2 and 4p times the value of y is negative 6. So we have 2 raised to 2 is 4 squared. 2 raised to 2 is 4 and equals to 4p times negative 6. So we have negative 24p. And we have to find the value of p, so we have to divide both sides of our equation by negative 24. So we have negative 24p divided by negative 24, 4 divided by negative 24. So the answer is negative 1 over 6. We will cancel this out and we will simplify this. The common factor of 4 and negative 24 is positive 4. So 4 divided by positive 4 is 1. Negative 24 divided by 4 is 6. So we have the value of p is negative 1 over 6. Next, we will use this again to find the equation of our statement here given above. So we will just substitute the value of p. So we have 4 times negative 1 over 6 times y. We will just multiply the numerator to numerator or the whole number to the numerator. So we have negative 4 and 4 times negative 1 is negative 4 over 6 y. Next, we will simplify the 4 over 6 since they have the same factor. So, or the common factor. So we have 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 3. Or 2 rather, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So the simplified form of our equation is x squared equals negative 2 over 3y. Next, the format of the focus is 0, comma p. So we will just substitute the value of p. So we have 0, comma negative 2 over 3. No, it's wrong. It should be 0, comma, the value of p is negative 1 over 6. Next, for the equation of the directrix, the format is y equals negative p. So it follows that y equals negative times negative 1 over 6. So negative times negative is positive. So the answer is y equals positive 6. So this is now the equation of the directrix. And take note, the graph opens downward. So we have the graph of the previous example. The focus is on the point 0 and -1/6. So we have it here. We just do some estimation. And next, the line or the graph of our directrix into the opposite side of our vertex, we have y equals 1/6. Just do some estimation in plotting the points or the graph of your parabola, the focus, and the directrix. So that's all.